Go. Okay, this is the Corey Maselli Show. Tonight we've got badass powerlifter, Las Vegas businessman, podcaster himself, Mr. Brandon Allen. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you for having me on, guys.
Yeah, thank you. I know you're busy as can be, man. So taking time out to do this means a lot to me. First time I really heard Brandon Allen's name pop up was after a big dogs meet down in Australia. You know which meet I'm talking about?
Yeah, 2018. That was the greatest meet of all time, I'd have to say, right? Maybe I'm biased, but yeah, it was Big Dogs 3 in Australia. That was following my return. I was in 2016. I was riddled with injuries. Kind of took a little time off, rebuilt, and came back in 2018. Made a big splash at Kern. And then after Kern, I was going to Big Dogs. I was invited to Big Dogs years before, but wasn't really ready to go until I felt I would win it. And 2018 was the year I was confident that I would win it. I knew I would win it. They were real crazy that day with the judging and everything. And I took a safe attempt. I really wanted 1,003 that day, but just didn't happen. And then I benched I think 573 might have been what I got credit for. I hit 580. No. I think so. 567, and I hit arm motion call, and then deadlift. I think we all kind of remember the deadlift of what happened at Kern. I pulled 843 on my second, super fast. In my third, I pulled 887, and then threw the bar down, like rolled out my hands on the way down, and ended up costing me $30,000. So I went from first place in the Wilks, which would have paid out 40 grand, to second place, which paid out 10. And then, I was competing against Yuri Belkin, Larry Wheels, monsters, and obviously those lighter weight guys, the Wilks formula favored them. So me as a super heavyweight, I had my plate full, but, I came out, I did a 2380 total, going like 5 for 9, not a great day, but, I still a massive raw total. And then, I knew Big Dogs was the answer. I was hurt going into Big Dogs. I hurt my quad training for Kern, actually. It wasn't this bad yet. I had an MRI. There was a partial tear. Wasn't too bad, though. Growth and BCP 157 and TB 500 injections into my knee daily got me through that prep. And then I took a little time off before I started the prep for Australia. I felt great going into Australia prep, and then midway through that, that knee quad area was really giving me hell. We knew it was going to be a problem. Had another MRI. The doctor was like, "Well, you definitely shouldn't go try to squat over 1,000 pounds, but I know you're going to." Right? He's like, "I know you're going to, so maybe up your growth intake a little bit." So that was the recipe for disaster. Anyways, I got through that prep. I wasn't able to take my last squat attempt in training, or no, second to last squat attempt in training. It was too risky for the condition of my knee. Fast forward to Australia. It was Big Dogs, which is the best of the best are invited. Mainly all super heavyweights, but then there'll be lighter guy Eric Lillybridge, but who actually walks around as a super heavyweight for that event. But it was that's why I really wanted to go ahead jumping with Eric. Me and Eric have battled for years. Same with Dan Bell. Me and Dan Bell actually being in the same weight class, Eric being a class below me. But obviously, we know what Dan Bell's done with it. But anyways, it was a super competitive time for the big guys. The numbers were getting crazy, as they still are. And I had to do that meet no matter what. Anyways, going out there, it's a short flight from Las Vegas, 16 hours.
Exactly.
At 360 pounds, it's pretty miserable when you're not big. So, and we get to Australia. It's a great experience. Everyone's super cool out there. By far the coolest meet I've ever been a part of. And, I was competing against, Peter Petrus, Odell Manuel, Eric Lillybridge, Sean Doyle, Dylan Hellraiser, just absolute lineup of monsters.
No, I remember well, man.
Yeah, it was crazy. And I knew I was going to win. I just knew it. I'm an arrogant, cocky bastard, and, it shows in the lifting. So, I was, like I said, my knee was in pretty bad shape. Anyways, I ended up getting third place in that event with a 2430 total. So it's the only 2,400 pound plus podium to ever exist. Be the only one ever. Who knows? It was one of those meets that was just, badass. Just such an awesome experience to be a part of it all. Just being in the warm-up room with all those guys and just like, wow, here we are, it's time to show who's the best. And I knew I was putting in more work, at least in my head. I was doing crazy workouts, 4-hour workouts, 5-hour, just my whole life was powerlifting, eat, sleep, train. That's it. Nothing else. No extracurricular. Didn't have friends. Didn't go anywhere. Eating out of the microwave every single meal is it's rough, man. You have one foot in the grave. Yeah. You're that big and that committed. You're very selfish and it's just very boring. But for the glory, it's worth it, right? But here we are, right? A few years later, and we're still talking about it. So, So going into that meet, I had to win. It was one of those things I just had to win. And it is when you're at the top. You're always just going to do one more meet. Just one more, and then I'm going to take a break. Okay, one more. And I'm an addict. With the. I was the only knucklehead to walk out my squat out of the monolith. That's just the way to do it. All the guys before us walked it out. You wouldn't feel right taking a record from Kirk Iwaski or someone when he used, combo rack and you're using a monolith. If anyone thinks monolith doesn't help you, you're lying to yourself, because it absolutely does. But anyways, 1,008 squat. Odell Manuel chipped me on that, or not chipped me, kilo jumped me on that. So he had the lead going in. Went to bench. It was the shortest gap from between squat and bench I've ever been a part of in my life. Mind you, there was, I think,
That's no joke.
Yeah, 9 lifters. The whole thing was done in 3.5 hours. Meets are usually, especially super heavyweights, we're used to like 8-hour meets. So from the time I hit my first squat to my last deadlift, it was like 3.5 hours. So anyways, I finished my squat. I give a speech. I'm still huffing out of breath, I'm fat and dying, and signed the golden monolift. And then they're like, hey guys, all right, you got 15 minutes for bench. I'm like, oh man, 15 minutes before we have to warm up for bench. Damn, I wish I had more time. Like, no. 15 minutes until bench starts. And we're whoa. So me and Sean Doyle, we're the only Americans there. We're hustling, getting kilo plates, and we're jumping red up to, 500 pounds in like 4-5 minutes, just to then get enough time to kind of rest and, get your heart rate back down before your opener. Hit a opener, I think it was 5 flu. And then my second attempt was 567, which is a number I hate because I've hit it so many times in a meet, and it's not even a PR. 573 was a meet PR at the time. And I didn't even want to take it for a second, but I was planning on doing 589 to 600, depending on how things went. Of course, I come out 567. I'm already thinking about my next lift. It flies off my chest. It's going up and it just hits a spot, gets off groove, and then buries me. And then so my wife pulls it off. My wife, all my handoffs, all my knee wrapping, everything for me. My wife pulls it off me, and I'm just kind of thinking like, what just happened? I wanted to kind of go up, and I was talking to Chad live, my coach Chad Wesley Smith, and he's like, dude, he's like, you can't have a miss if you want to stay in this meet. So we retook it, and then of course I smoked it. You know what I mean? Like it always goes that way. And then it comes down to deadlifts. Let me get a drink real quick. So we're going into deadlifts. Odell Manuel opened up huge. It was strategy, 881, kind of scare everyone, get ahead, and then be able to go last and kind of see everyone else as a pick. Because as we all know, it's powerlifting, you can change your third picks on deadlifts to try to win. So he hurt himself that 881 opener. Completed it, but he hurt himself. He was no longer able to take any more openers or any more attempts. So then it's kind of neat. So I kind of in my head, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to pass Odell. Even though he had a big lead on us all, and then it was kind of between me and Peter Petrus. I think this time Eric was kind of already out of it just because he missed a huge squat. I don't know. He still might have been in. I don't really remember, but I knew it was coming down to me and Peter. Peter hit his third attempt deadlift, whatever it was. Now we knew the number that I needed to win. I really wanted to try to go for 1,900 in that meet, be the first guy to ever do it, which was then broke just maybe a month or two later by Dylan Hellraiser. I think the number we chose was 898. It's like the kilo right before 901 or whatever it is.
Right.
903. So that was my attempt. And I was the last one on the platform. It was the last deadlift of the day. If I had hit it, I'd win. If I missed it, I got third. So I could have taken well, like I said, Odell was hurt. he was stuck where he's at. I didn't fly out there for second place, got out there to win. And I knew I was going to win. So I knew that deadlift was the right number. It was what I needed to beat Peter Petrus. So I took it and it went all the way up mid knee, above the knee, and just hit a spot. And I started to black out. And it was like one of those things like, damn, here it is. And of course, you wish you could have that moment back. I think you could have fought a little harder, all these things, but
oh yeah,
I gave it everything I had. And for the time, that's what it was. So missed it, settled with third place with a 24:30 total. And then that was kind of the highlight of my career. And not the end of my career, but leading to the end of my career, in terms of super heavyweight powerlifting.
Right. Well, hey, the theme of our top athletes in general, specifically top strength athletes, is, man, what makes that heart beat like it does? I mean, you didn't walk into powerlifting and all of a sudden become a driven human being. You had to have that drive and whatever the heck, goes on up here that allows you to attack those freaky weights. Like, dig back, what's the history of Brandon Allen? What made you like the man you are today?
You kind of got to be a little fucking stupid to be really good at something, and real selfish, and those are qualities I've possessed. So when I was young, I was always strong. I was always in trouble as a knucklehead, always fighting. Just wanted to be the biggest, baddest dude. Accomplished that in a few ways, maybe ways that aren't too things you brag about, right? And then powerlifting kind of really started, giving me a purpose and giving me some focus, and I just attacked that like I attacked other things in life. I wanted to be the baddest motherfucker in the gym, and in powerlifting, it was who was lifting the most weight. 12 years old, but when I was 22 is when I really understood, learned about powerlifting and things like that. I played football and things like that, so the training was much different, prior. But I was always the strongest dude on the team, whatever I did. And then I got when his hand's torn open, he's calling it a day. I'm not. I'm doing it. And no matter, didn't matter what it was. In the gym, I got it done, and obviously it showed. And that combined, blessed with genetics, you can't, you can be the baddest motherfucker training in the gym, but if you ain't got the genetic makeup for it, you're still going to be a 5'2", 150-pound little shrimp.
Like Ryan Kennelly said, you give Pee Wee Herman a whole bucket of steroids, and he's still going to be Pee Wee Herman.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Steroids are definitely help. They help you with recovery and things like that. But that ain't the answer. People have a huge misconception of what steroids provide, and usually it's people that aren't on steroids, or a lot of it are guys that are on steroids. They're just not as good as other people, so they just assume, they're just running crazy numbers and doing special steroids and all shit. It's like, no, dude, it's the same shit that you bought from the dude in the back of the gym that I'm taking. Right, special, it's brewed in the guy's bathtub. It's all the same shit.
Right. Hey, this is my side chick, aka Maserati Jen, and she has all these. She has this curiosity of why do they do that before the lift? What is going on right there? Like the pre-lift ritual. Like, I'm assuming every big deadlift you do, it's the same way.
Okay, so deadlift is probably the most different one from the other ones. That's the most violent. With squat, it's a little more controlled for visualizing, and I visualize failure over and over again, and I visualize just being stapled and being embarrassed. Why did you even think you could unrack that kind of weight? And that would drive me. And then I'd get emotional and man, I'm gonna get this motherfucker. I don't care what happens. So that would kind of how it go for squat. Bench. I've been benching since I was a kid. That one just comes. You just love it. You just want to bench something big, right? And everyone wants to bench. So bench is easy. And then deadlift is where I really go deep and I start visualizing stupid shit I've done in the past that I'm embarrassed by, dumb shit that's not even strength related, and it would piss me off. And I'd be like, well, if I deadlift this, that'll erase that memory, And it's not true because I still use those memories to this day.
Exactly.
But, that's kind of how I would mentally go through things, and visualizing people telling you this is stupid, shit like that. It's so dumb. Oh, this is stupid. Well, here, I'm going to go deadlift 850 pounds. That'll show it's not stupid. No, you just prove it is stupid. So, it's kind of, it's just, but it works. You got, like I said, you got to be kind of crazy too to do this shit. at a high level. Anyone could do it, but at a high level, it takes a special person.
Oh yeah, like let's go through some. I remember, remember he had an injury. I don't know, it was a quad tear, a patellar tear. What was
Yeah,
it?
so that's kind of was the start by a powerlifting, high level powerlifting career. I'll always be a powerlifter. I will never stop training powerlifting. It's in me forever. I always will do. I've done it forever, But in terms of a high level competitive athlete, of maintaining over 350 pounds, like that kind of shit. So when I was prepping for the Kern 2019 after Big Dogs, that was the next big meet in USA. And then I was going to go back to Big Dogs for Big Dogs 4. Those are the 2 meets I was going to do every year. I was prepping for that meet. Remember, we were talking about this knee injury I suffered in 2018 Kern training. It's been lingering, getting worse and worse through the prep through Big Dogs. It hurt like hell. Finally, that was over. And then I took some time off. I started prepping for Kern 2019. I felt really strong. I felt good. I felt like I could, I felt like I was going to get through it, no problems. And that wasn't the case because just a few weeks into training, right when I started turning the numbers up, pain, the knee and just hurting to even squat my body weight to depth. And it was getting bad. So when me and Andy Hong were filming a video, a promo for both sponsored by Iron Rebel at the time. And we're doing a promo video for Iron Rebel. I was doing a 925 pound squat. It was mind you, we were just like, we're like eight or 10 weeks out. We're so far out. We were just barely starting to turn it up. Probably the first heavy squat in the 900s of the prep. So we're warming up for it. We got a camera crew there on the whole 9. So you just feel pressure doing press. It's stupid pressure you put on yourself. It doesn't mean anything, but you feel pressure doing press. I knew the knee was bad. I probably should have pulled off, but like I said, I'm kind of retarded. And I warming up.
Double-edged sword.
Right. Warming up, I think I hit like 850 or 860, and it was bad. It hurt. I went outside. I was talking to my wife, and I was like, "Fuck, I don't know, man." And then she's like, "Well, don't do it." I'm like, "Why can't you just not do it? Look at all these motherfuckers here. I got to do it." So, me being stubborn and a little slow, we went in there and wrapped up my knee and took a 925 squat, dunked it in the hole, and right in the hole, pop, a couple pops I hear, and my whole body shifts over to the left. I don't really know what's happening. I stand up, and all my weight on the left leg. I did a 925 pound pistol squat. It's gotta be a record, right?
Ridiculous, man.
So yeah, I just stood up with it, racked the weight, and then pull the wrap off, and then my knee shifts over. You kind of it looks bad, and I don't really know what's happening at this point though. I just know I just fucked something up, and it was a loud pop and everything. So I'm sitting there on a chair. My buddy Derek White was there, so he hands me his crutches. So I'm able to use his crutches to get around. And we're looking at my knee. It just looks wrong, but I don't know what it is. I'm like, something's off. Anyways, I play it out in the video. I try to act like things are kind of fine. You can find that video on YouTube, I'm sure. But I'm like delusional. I'm like, we'll take a couple weeks off. We'll be fine. Anyways, I get home. It's a Friday. I don't see my specialist till Monday. Go see the specialist Monday. I can't walk all weekend. Literally, like my leg is completely detached. The quad is completely detached, rolled up into my hip.
Significant.
Right. So I see my doctor, and he's like, "Yeah, man, we got to repair this." I'm like, "All right. So how long am I out?" He's like, "A year." I'm like, "Oh fuck, man, that's like an eternity, He said it'd be a year until you're back to where you are before the knee tear, and you'd be, fully functional for, big weight again." I'm like, "All right, well, you got no other option." So we had the knee surgery. Fuck, nightmare. Being 360 plus pounds, stuck on a couch, pissing in bottles all day while your wife's at work, trying to work on my phone. Oh man, it was just can't stand up, can't move. Legs straight as board, stiff and pain. Shitty time. So I didn't want to do that again, and I got finally get into work training, like working with walking, body weight squats, things like that. And then I'm riding my bike to my Harley to my gym, and I get a car accident, get smashed at 50 miles an hour T-bone, and then I was ejected over the bars, landed on my head, crushed 5 vertebrae, crushed my elbow in the landing, tore my erector, tore everything in my left sock in my leg, couldn't move my left leg. It was fucked up, man. So that accident happens, and then it's kind of like fuck, it's kind of a wrap, right? So we rehab that, or we go to the hospital, and luckily I wasn't paralyzed or anything. Obviously I'm here, but I was very lucky to be the size I was and had the mass I was to absorb that impact, because a regular human would have snapped his back, no doubt about it. So, it just kind of seemed to me like, I just opened the big new gym and shit in Vegas, and we're like, oh, we had so much shit going on that it just was horrible timing, man. It couldn't have been worse. And I've still had this hope that I'm going to come back and powerlift, but just so many, so much pain and so much injuries. My hip is still fucked to this day because everything was, everything was broken. So realistically, I thought, can I even put 1,000 pounds on my back again? I don't know, but I want to do that again. But I want to go through all that. I've been there. I know what it takes now. It's no secret anymore. We know what it takes. It's
Yeah.
a lot of work, a lot of dedication, a lot of food, a lot of everything. You're just going to be miserable. And
Brandon, Jen's got a question for you. There's a bunch of
I just have one question. What is, and I was a gymnast, and it's, pretty same thing. You get the burnout, but like, why did you hurt yourself? What, like, seriously, no.
Well, I'll rephrase the question. You know there's a likelihood of fucking shit up before you do it, but you do it anyway.
Oh yeah.
Hurt yourself.
I don't want to get hurt. I got a motorcycle accident. I didn't want that to happen.
Oh yeah, fuck that.
What?
But no, like she referring like the injuries that plague powerlifters.
I don't understand why you
neck strains,
like,
patella blowouts, quad blowouts.
Because we're retarded and we love stupid
there
shit.
You go. There, that's the only answer.
I'm just asking. I just don't know why you guys do so much to pull your body down from, you're pulling so much weight off the earth.
Yeah, it's literally.
It's like I don't.
The average human being
want to be better. Want to be better than anyone else in their dumb sport.
I don't understand that. I'm Cuban. I don't understand that.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think anyone understands it. That's what makes it interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty complex.
Yeah, it's ego. It's all ego. We just want to be better than everyone else at what we're doing. So it's
it's like a junkie, like
fuel
muscle.
Total junkie.
Total
mentality.
Yeah. Bottom line.
So then the motorcycle accident basically forced me into retirement from competing at a high level, where now I've been involved in competitive arm wrestling and been involved in some really amazing matches. I just got back from Dubai, arm wrestling Larry Wheels.
That's bad.
Yeah, going back out soon. So I've been competitive, just not in powerlifting anymore. I was gonna do a meet earlier on last year, but like I was saying, this hip injury, I was kind of on track to do like another 2,000 pound raw total at 308. And then I did a 685 raw squat for a triple, or like for three sets of 3, and felt great, but my hip just was really fucked up. And I went and had looked at it, and I thought for sure I tore something. It just felt like I tore something. But MRI shows no tear. It's just really bad bursa sac and bursitis and tendonitis from the years of lifting and accident and whatnot. So it's so painful that it hurts to get off the toilet seat to do anything. So to squat big weight in the hole isn't really, it's just sitting here, I'm in pain. It never goes away.
I understand, brother.
Right. So and squatting heavy makes it significantly worse. It makes my life miserable. So I just knew I'm not going to squat heavy for a while until this thing really heals. And honestly, it kind of just takes time, one of those things. But arm wrestling has completely taken over my life. I've been arm wrestling for 2 years now. Hosting tournaments, going to tournaments, helping being a part of them. I have a podcast, an arm wrestling podcast. I do a live show. My YouTube channel is growing now through arm wrestling.
Throw it out there, so people know.
Yeah, Your Morning BJ on YouTube. Just check me out there. Also on Spotify and Apple Play.
Cool.
But yeah, and then we had some crazy guests on there. Amazing, all the best guys in arm wrestling. It's been fortunate coming from the powerlifting background and being at the top there. I kind of get instant access to the top level arm wrestlers. So
okay.
Yeah, I've been fortunate for that and able to really get strong very quick on the table. So it's been a blessing, but it's been a lot of hard work to get me to where I was at, obviously.
Right. Hey, you're probably a bit of a powerlifting historian. You remember the Hawaii record breakers meet like back in the early 80s? Yes. Ever hear another?
No. I'm only 33 years old. I wasn't even born until 88.
You got
33.
Give you something to Google, man. Like check out Hawaii record breakers, because it was the same kind of ilk as that big dogs meet that you went through. But just a bunch of badass lifters, freaking misfits and wild maniacs in a freaking 100-degree freaking stadium in Hawaii. Same very similar type story to what you shared with us. But all the old school guys, Ed Cohn, Ernie Franz.
Yeah, no,
Lamont
I've definitely
Grant.
heard of these meets and I've seen photos of them and stuff. There wasn't really much video footage from them back then, but I've I'm not too familiar with them. I don't fantasize on the past. Mind you, we got stronger than those guys real quick. You know what I mean? My generation coming up, and then look at the numbers the guys are pushing. You have Daniel Bill now doing 2,600 pound raw total. Just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. So, but again, I respect all everyone did before me. They're badass dudes. I obviously the guys that had content or the guys we're familiar with, right? Kurt Tukhwowski was the one of the guys that actually videoed things. There's obviously videos of Ed going out there and things, stuff like that. And the other guys didn't put out, Steve Goggins put out videos. So other than that, there wasn't too much footage of the guys, So you hear the stories, but you forget the stories because we don't put a face to the video.
Yeah. I think I know how to access some of those old from that particular meet. That'd be kind of cool to post up. I probably should.
Yeah, that'd be bitching.
Anyway, it's right up your alley, brother. I promise you.
That'd be bitching.
Matthias, you got any training nerd questions?
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about Chad Smith. Was he your coach, or were you more like following his work online?
He's over in Denmark. He's been having a weird service.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. You cut out there.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear you.
The connection since the evening has just been off sometimes. I don't know why. So, did you hear me or not?
I'm sorry. No, every time you talk, it seems to freeze.
Oh my God. Chad Wesley Smith, was he your coach? I know you mentioned him in the past, right?
Yeah. So yeah, Chad Wesley Smith took me under his wing in 2016, I believe, maybe 15, and really took. I think it was 15, and then really took me to the next level. Following Juggernaut training program, Juggernaut style, which is like block periodization, progressive overload, things like that. Something I didn't really do. I kind of just lifted it when I felt good, instead of like pushing it, as hard as I should have. And Chad really made me push it. He's a tough coach. He's a great coach, and he's one that you don't want to disappoint, and he doesn't take any bullshit. So he was kind of, and
oh damn, it freezes again.
and offered to coach me. I was like, absolutely, man. So it was an awesome benefit. I think we both benefited from it because I was on the up and rise. I've been real big on social media and helped probably push people his way. He catapulted his stuff much further just through all the diverse athletes he had. I got nothing but great things to say about Chad Wesley Smith. He is probably the best strength coach I've ever met in my life, and the most knowledgeable in terms of any type of strength sport, anything. He knows everything. It's quite amazing.
Did you read his book, Scientific Principles of Strength Training?
Oh yeah. I got all of his stuff. I still to this day with my programming, the way I coach people, follow Chad's stuff. He puts so much free stuff out there on YouTube. Every now and then I'll pop in some old stuff, refresh the memory, watch all his new content he puts out. He really teaches you how to understand strength and how to apply it and how to measure it and how to adjust and make things fit for individuals as opposed to kind of more of a blanket standpoint. And that's why I probably respect him the most. I try to apply the same things I learned from him. Of course, there's a blanket line that most people fall across, but he knows how to really specify things that really correct weaknesses and work for biomechanics of certain people. Really helped me. Could not have gotten to where I was without him. I don't doubt that one bit.
Okay, so I assume you believe that his way of periodizing it is the best, like having a block, X number of weeks for hypertrophy, X number of weeks for strength, X number of weeks for peaking your strength.
Yeah, I think that's the only way. I really do. Like the one thing I had to learn with Chad and really break my old barrier of all the old dumb shit I knew. Like I wanted to be my strongest every day. Like I want to bench over 500 pounds every day. Where Chad was like, dude, it doesn't matter what you're doing, 2 months out from a meet. That doesn't mean anything. What happens on meet day is what matters. You want to peak and hit even bigger numbers. Like you want to be mediocre year round, or do you want to go up and down, but your ups are going to be really high up and your lows going to be a little low. So that was tough for me at first. And then once I really started grasping it, and then I just took off, because when I had downtime, I took it down and I rested and I didn't do shit. And then when I would come back hard, I would train harder than fuck. And it would keep me from getting too mentally burnt out and physically burnt out, to where you know, I swear at first I thought he was trying to sabotage me with all his volume. Like, what the fuck am I trying to be a swimmer? You know, and you know, my best squat in the gym, 965, but then hitting 1,008 on the platform very fast. Like, you know,
Right.
best bench in training, you know, just not even close to what I do on the platform, you know. So that that really opened my eyes and made me understand, okay, I got this wrong. I need there's a better way to do it. And that's part of the hardest thing to convey to even my athletes, people like coach. Like they want to be the strongest they can possibly right now today. I'm like, dude, this is a process. It takes time. And you know, we're not even in a month. What do you mean we're going to accomplish in a month? It takes years and years. So yeah, that's probably the best thing I learned from Chad is being your best when it mattered.
Yeah, I mean, I actually experienced the same thing when I tried the West Side Conjugate under Jonathan Curry. Like after 4 or 5 months, I was forced to take a 2-week deload, and it's been 2-3 weeks since then, and I'm still not really into it. I mean, you have to be very careful with that type of training. I do believe if you do it right.
That's how training was, you know, created for geared lifting, where you're doing partial reps and have a lot of assistance from the gear to move that style of weight throughout the rest. So maybe you didn't have as much muscle fatigue when you're wearing the gear as you would without, but I know it's an overload on the CNS, so it's tricky. Does it work? Absolutely. It's worked for a lot of guys. Louis can create a lot of monsters, right? I just think there's a better way.
Yeah, me too. I mean, like sometimes why not do 5, 6, 7, 8 reps? I mean, I like to think sometimes I just feel that I need it instead of the heavy weight, you know, like my muscles need the time under tension or the endurance or a little bit less weight. I mean, so on those days, why would I go up to like a single every time?
Yeah, there's no point. You need to build your workload capacity. Your body will adapt to whatever you apply to it. And if you're trying to increase these super high intensity, you know, workouts, you won't recover from it. So you build up your workload capacity with the lower intensity, higher volume, higher frequency, and you know, easy to recover. And then when you get into those heavier weights, then you're able to recover better. And once I understood that, it changed everything.
Yeah, definitely. So Corey, we have about 5 minutes left to get into some more stuff before we end.
Well, Brandon, I'd just like to ask you, like any, like behind the scenes, what really goes into like the guts of a program that an aspiring up and coming powerlifter might have?
I mean, I don't know what you're saying other than what I've already said. Just more volume than you think you need. Like most guys have no idea how much work it takes to really do it and really get the real number change. And I didn't either at first. I had to learn. But if you probably aren't. If you think you're not going heavy enough, you probably are. You don't need to be banging heavy weights year round to be absolute strong mutant. You know, in off-season work, I don't think I ever went above 85, 90% ever. Not even for a couple reps. Kept it much lower than that. And then obviously peaking, things change. But you know, moving, you know, power is a lot of speed as well. So moving at a high speed multiple times, getting that muscle connection and fast twitch motion down, that's going to really carry over when you start cranking up the intensity.
Obviously, coming up as a kid into a younger adult, now a fully blown, you know, top level athlete, you did a lot of stuff to build that base. It's not like you were just a kid that went to school and freaking went to choir and all of a sudden showed up in a weight room. You were out there doing stuff, like I'm guessing year round from the time you're a little kid on. I think a lot of times in today's culture, kids show up to a weight room with like not much like you know, physical endurance or physical development beyond just very like
football. So you know, all those days, you know, we're out of time.
oh, hey, bro, yeah,
now
we wrap it up like that.
What happened?
That's pretty much anyway. Brandon, I appreciate you taking the time, brother. Big time.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you guys, man. Thanks for having me on. Let me talk my shit.
Yeah, I don't know if you recall, man, but I remember you back that. I remember your motorcycle accident because I was following your comeback. Fucking broke my heart, man. I really felt for it. I knew it had to be just a son of a bitch to deal with run your own business, be the athlete you are, man. But if you want to get back to that 1,000+ squat, brother, my brain power is all in for it. I want to see you do it.
If my body allows it, right? But I just being realistic, I think arm wrestling's the new path. While I'll always power
I think
lift.
it's so cool that he does arm
It
wrestling.
is badass.
So
man.
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
so
I
you-
mean, I love that. I get crazy. It's like solitary. I
Yeah.
have to win the first game.
Yeah, arm wrestling's a fucking blast. It's a whole different animal, you know, and it's growing huge on the professional side of things. And there's a lot of money getting into it now.
What do
It's-
you do to win? Like, is it the thumb? Is it the
Go on,
arm?
go on my YouTube
Come
channel.
on.
There's many arm wrestling videos on my YouTube channel. You can see I do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's Brandon Allen
Don't
Filthy
worry
Power.
about it.
on
I'll be
YouTube, guys.
wrestling you soon.
Right on, guys. I'm gonna get out of here. The wife's home. I gotta go eat my last meal.
Hey, appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Take
for having
care.
me on. Take care, guys.
Yep,
You
we'll
too.
talk to you.